right, so we're gonna be going over some of the things as far as, 509 3-2, that's for Georgia unarmed security. Some of it's gonna be a repeat, but we're gonna make sure that we cover all this. So far, we've already talked about courtroom testimony. We talked about patrol and observation, patrol techniques. One thing I wanna mention about patrol techniques, if you were to be, if you always start your patrol out at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, every hour and an hour, at the beginning of the hour, you need to start switching that up sometime. Because if in case somebody's gonna be casing your location, they're gonna know your routine.
Yeah.
If you come out your office and then turn right all the time, all right, they're gonna say, oh, he's gonna be going right, and then I can go ahead, I got this amount of time, 20 minutes to go ahead and do what I need to do. Change it up, go to the left sometime. All right, go halfway and turn back around and go back the other way. Change your patrol habits up. It's very important because, again, somebody that's gonna be watching, they're gonna be watching at least 2 days. Okay? We talk about crimes in progress, that's including the active shooters. Officer safety, remember, when you're dealing with somebody on the street and you don't know them, all right, just say it politely. Hey man, you mind if you put your hands out your pocket, man? It's a dangerous job there. It's okay to say that. Most of the time they're gonna understand and they'll do it. All right?
And if they don't?
If they don't, you can't do nothing about it. All right, I would get distance from him or her, just in case because they maybe want a crazy person.
I found a lot of police officers do that too. When
Yeah.
they go approach you, they have their hands in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right to let them know too, right?
A police officer?
Yeah.
No.
He said no.
Wait, but you rather their hands in their
I rather
pocket.
hands in their
I
pocket.
was like, I rather- that's what I said, I rather-
I'd rather have that police officer hands in the pocket and hands on his gun. He's
Yeah.
talking to me, so I wouldn't mess with that.
Yeah, keep your hands in
Alright.
your pocket, man. I mean, we doing good. What you want to gamble?
All right, so we talked about note taking and report writing, but remember that officer safety is very important. What you need to watch from a person when you're dealing with them? Hands. That's the only thing that can hurt you, folks. If he got a gun, his hand's gonna need to be going to reach to get the gun. If he got a knife, his hand's gonna do it. So watch his hand. I don't care what kind of crap he's talking. Watch his hands. All right. We talk about responding to emergencies. You're not police officers, so you can't go code 3. That means lights and sign. You don't do that. All right. If you're working at a security, you're working security in a patrol vehicle at a campus. Some of these campuses are very large. Some of them you may be working at a military base. All right. You can't be running code 3. That means lights and sign. You can't do that. You're not a police officer. Only police and fire can do that.
You said military base? They got military base?
Security does work on military
Like
bases.
at one around?
Mm-hmm. And right up here, they're all over the place. Fort Gillum, you got security at Fort Mac. Security does work on military bases.
Fort McPherson.
Fort Mac,
Fort
yeah.
Mac ain't Fort Mac no more, is it?
Fort McPherson, they're still there. VA hospital is there. All right. So we talked about that. Now let's talk about crowd control and evacuation. Now remember here in Atlanta last year, we had some pretty bad riots, right? Some pretty bad riots. Folks, this is important. All right. If you're working that, especially in a critical location, city hall, courthouse, government facility, airport, folks, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be very hard and difficult for your relief to come in because there's people outside rioting. All right. You can't leave that place until you're properly relieved. Okay, that's just what we signed up for. You cannot leave that place until you're properly relieved. All right, that the citizens of your client, which will be the citizens of your city or state, they're depending on you. All right, and you don't want to be the one to derelict your duty and abandon your post. You don't want to do it.
Well, that I understand, you're relieved having a hard time getting there because probably all the streets blocked
Oh yeah,
off and
absolutely.
all that. But if your relief up the street just bullshit and
Yeah,
talking
that's
to
something
something,
different. Yeah,
that
no
pisses
common
me
sense,
off.
though.
Yeah,
I'm about to go up
okay,
there.
but we're talking about what we're supposed to do. We have a lively class
Yeah, they
here,
go ahead and leave.
so we're just trying to say
I
because
see it.
during a
Yeah.
civil unrest time, which I need to get you in your head that how important it is because this can happen any minute
Yeah.
in this country right now. This country is like a powder keg right now. All right, powder keg. And we want to be trained if indeed it happens while it could happen at your location. During my career, I've seen people at large places where the company went, not the security company, but the client company went bankrupt and didn't tell anybody. So all these employees came to work mad because the company closed down. They were wondering where they're gonna get their check. It was a melee out there. It was a melee. So, and my security officer called me, I came out there and, hey, well, we just had to say, I had to, first of all, empathize with these people, all right? Because they're gonna look at me like I gotta pay them. I'm not, I'm security here, they're paying us. Hopefully we get paid. But sometimes when you have a group of emotional people, try to empathize with them. Now, you don't wanna start talking bad about them, but you say, hey man, I understand, man, I know it's messed up about what happened. It's messed up, but listen, I'm doing a job here, man. I need my job. Just going down the road if you can. Just talk to them. All right? Just talk to that person. Be empathetic with them. All right?
So you tell them where they gonna be at.
Yeah,
They're going down the street,
hey,
bro.
man, y'all take that down the
Just beat them
street.
down the street.
My
Yeah.
man's gonna get here in like 15 minutes.
Right. That man would
I
understand.
need
They would
$10.
rather deal with you as a security officer than the police.
Trying to tell you, I'm like, hey, bro, what you want me to do?
I give you $10, bro.
They gonna
Just
do
beat him
Do
down.
what you gotta do.
But
But just don't be some hard nose at someone who's emotional with some bricks and some rocks and some sticks. Hey man, take that down the street, man. I ain't gonna get nothing to do with that there. I feel you, man. I hate what happened, but yeah, you can take that down the street, man, if you don't mind. You don't understand. I said I need my job.
I know you want to show it, but I gotta keep mine.
Right. Be empathetic. That's a human. Okay. All right. Any questions about that?
No, that's.
Crowd control, crowd control. Now, when you're working a lot of large events for crowd control, I know some of us, you may work in the Falcons game or something like that. And yes, we do the Falcons games, some of these larger events. So if you were to get that unfortunate assignment of at the gate, and although you want to be on the field, I'll never forget, we had a contract when Beyonce came to town, and everybody wanted to be inside. Nobody wanted to work outside. I get it, but hey, it is what it is, man. Sometimes you just get the luck of the draw, get the short stick, and you gotta be outside while Beyonce's playing. All right? Yes, sir.
do they constantly switch your post?
Sometimes a good supervisor will try to switch out. I need you to go, half the time here, half the time outside. A good supervisor, if they can.
But do they like
Well,
go to
I
different
ain't
sites
no
and
sleep
choose?
night. Where you at? Cause
Hey,
it's
she
hard
told me
to
come
even
get me.
break you out.
Say
It's
again?
hard to break you out.
They go to different sites and choose different officers or work like.
Now, generally, we'll have like we'll advertise for that position, and it'll be a mass hiring, and just like temporary jobs. There's a lot of people that work security. That's all they do. They'll work at this temporary agency for security, this temporary agency, this game, this venue. They do that 5 days a week. This convention, this conference. A lot of security companies do that. Yep. Some people like it. Some people like it, and
I think that's for like people who older people like
Yeah.
that's retired and whatnot.
Like
They
the,
need that
like
that
the,
little
the
extra
suits at
income.
the Hawks game.
Mhm.
That's what they do, done.
Yeah. That's what they do. All right, so now we're gonna start talking about so we talked about the crowd control evacuations and evacuations. Let's talk about the evacuations. In an event of an evacuation of your building that you're securing for, all right, you are the authority. Okay, if there's if you're working and you see smoke billowing down the hallway, you need to hit the fire alarm. You need to call 911. All right, do the best you can while you walk into an exit. Everybody understand that? Just make sure that they have your name, your position on 911 when you call, that you're reporting a fire. But don't you stay inside the building while it's catching on fire. Everybody understand that? No heroes here. All right, leave, but report. Hit that fire alarm. Get those people out of this building. All right. You can't live with yourself if somebody get burned up and you didn't do the proper thing. All right. Now, in case that you see a fire, when we're dealing with a fire, get your fire extinguisher. What is the hottest part of the fire?
The bar.
The base.
Yeah.
And that blue part is particular. That's the hottest part of a flame. Now, folks, be advised, when you get that fire extinguisher, there's gonna be a hose there. You better hold that hose tight, because if not, when you squeeze that bottle, it's gonna go everywhere. It's gonna hit you in a part that you don't wanna get hit. So a lot of pressure. Aim it at the base of the fire and extinguish the fire. Everybody understand that? All right, if you can. Now, if you're trying to evacuate and you're trying to leave inside of a building like this, if you were to, when you come into a door that's closed, feel the heat. If there's heat on the other side of that thing, you got an issue. There's fire on the other side. All right? That means you don't want to open that door because it's going to be a vacuum. All right? Feel the door. Feel this. I mean, you just feel it with your hand, back of your hand particularly. More sensitive. All right? So remember, evacuating, you must evacuate and you must report it. Hazardous materials. Now everybody know what hazmat is, right? Hazmat. When you see that sign on these placards, and some of you places may have a lot of trucks coming in, and it's very important. You may have to sign in trucks. Look at those placards, those diamond-shaped things. You will see everything from chlorine, sulfuric acid, nitrogen oxide, everything. Sulfur. That's some deadly stuff, folks. Sometimes you'll see explosives come in. Gasoline, flammables. Those things are meant for you to take heed. God forbid, if there's an accident, you see something like that's carrying chlorine overturned, like say you have a truck overturned on your site. You need to get from downwind from that. Know which way the wind's blowing. There's a lot of people each year that's untrained, and they can die from that exposure to a hazardous material. Yes, it is very important.
That happened to?
Yeah, right. The chicken plant.
Yeah,
right here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Right here in Georgia. All right. So I'm sure that I don't know if they were ever trained properly.
Yeah.
But you're in this classroom to be trained for this stuff, because these plants have some major chemicals coming through there. Major chemicals.
It's
All right.
important to know what chemical is
Man.
too.
You gotta be
I
careful
mean,
what you see in
even
the
Walmart
food,
would
right?
take you through that because they have a thing in the back, like when customers bring certain chemical items back, especially when it's in like camping area and whatnot, them little
Sure.
learning things, when they bring them back,
That says how
they,
colors.
they make sure that whoever works that department go through some kind of training about what chemicals, what to dispose and what not to dispose.
It's very important. Very important. Folks. That's something you can't even. I mean, that's happened. Was it? Where that chicken plant was? Is it here in Forest Park? Where is that?
It was South Georgia somewhere.
Yeah, it was a Tyson chicken plant. I think it was Tyson. And Jimmy, who would have thought they had those dangerous chemicals there at a chicken plant? All kinds of dangerous stuff. Some of you places are tire manufacturers. They all kinds of dangerous stuff. If you inhale it, it'll kill you. Okay. Next, let's have some material. Now let's talk about bomb threats and terrorism. How many minutes we are so far, sir? How many minutes?
14.
14. Bomb threats and terrorism. All right, this is important, especially if you're at a school. You're going to get at least 1 or 2 bomb threats a year, averaging. Generally, as a kid that think it's cool. They get off work, they get off of school early. All right, they think it's cool. Generally, they get caught because they would be the only one that didn't show up for school that day. Anyway, so bomb threats. Now, the fire department and the police department is going to depend on you if you may have the keys to open up these areas to do a search. If you see a suspicious device, if you have a radio, turn your radio off. Say it again. You have a two-way communication, turn your radio off. Those of us that's been downrange in Iraq and Afghanistan, we know about IEDs. All right? When we were growing up, there was a small walkie-talkie, and you go by a television and you hit the thing, you see that interference or by radio? Everybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. That's all it takes to charge up a IED for it to explode.
For real?
Yes. That's all it takes. There's a little wire. Let me show you this here, folks. Let's say, for example, I have a phone. This is my phone. And down the bottom of my phone, I have a wire, and I have a thing called a blasting cap. alright, with some explosives right here. Alright, that's the cap that's going in there. I need some type of force or energy to push out so this thing can explode. So what a lot of the IEDs will do, they'll call that phone number. As soon as it calls it, it rings and boom. So what I'm saying to you, if you were on duty and you're doing a bomb threat search and you have your radio and you come up to it, yeah, that looks like a bomb, boom, you're dead.
That's some real. That's some
Everybody
real.
understand that? That wire, you see that wire there? It needs some type of a charge to get it, the signal to explode.
That's some real Bruce Willis stuff there.
Okay? Stay off your radio during the bomb threat. Stay off
So how
your
would you
radio.
communicate it if you found it?
Generally, let's say for example, you found it, you don't turn your radio on, you need to walk away.
Go back to the
Cordon
old
off
days.
the area. That's a good question. In other words, keep everybody from coming in that area. You know,
your phone, like your
don't
phone,
don't use
yeah.
don't use any of your communication method.
You get a call right
Call right then, boy.
Very important. Bomb threats. Stay off your radio. All right. Now, when you're helping the fire department and helping the police department out, yeah, you're gonna have to help search. Yeah. There's no problem. You're gonna have to help search. You got the keys to the building. Okay. All right. Terrorism. That's a big one. Terrorism. One of our biggest threats to this country right now is domestic terrorism. Domestic. We're not really much worried about the people across seas right now as much. We're more concerned about domestic terrorism. So you may see in the future your own Americans, whether they're black or white, Hispanic, doing something that will try to hurt the infrastructure or hurt the country. You're the front line. There are more security than there are police officers. Okay, you're the front line. You're the eyes and ears for our communities. So these terrorists, folks, I think in the future it's going to be really, really bad, really bad. So just be aware.
I do too. I really do. I
I think
think
it'll get worse. before
I
it go
think
to-
9/11 ain't nothing about what's about to go down. I'm dead serious.
You have people.
Why did this fool out? Man, A couple it ain't gonna be refugees that. from They another gonna be country, and our didn't even people. fly the Americans. They gonna
Exactly.
be our people.
Now I'm gonna give you an example.
They got
We're sending over 50,000 Afghan people. 50,000. And
no American made it over yet, like 100.
just my personal opinion. We're a compassionate country. I understand that, but who's vetting these people?
You know what I'm saying? Y'all giving them too much power.
That's okay. I don't want to get political, but we as security that we got to be prepared for what's going to happen.
After a while, it's gonna take nothing for us to get armed because they gonna want everybody to be on their goddamn P's and Q's.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, but the good thing is in our industry we're gonna be needed. That's for sure. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. All right. We'll finish up here in a few minutes. CCTV operations. Everybody know what CCTV means? Closed circuit television. All right. Some of you will be operating closed circuit television monitors, and you may have another officer that's on patrol. If you see something suspicious, you just gotta get in contact with them via radio. You need to go check this specific incident out. Alarm systems, please know how to operate that alarm. I think I said that yesterday. Know how to operate and turn that irritating alarm off when it goes off. Okay? Sometimes the wind can cause the alarm to go off. Know how to turn that thing off. It's tough working 8-hour shift, hearing that alarm in the background on a Sunday afternoon.
They do show you how to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
show
train
somebody, there's somebody,
It's not a
your
training
supervisor
house.
or your building manager show you how to turn that thing on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? Just a key, most likely. We've already talked about electronic article surveillance. Now, folks, security has been changed forever now by the use of drones. Okay? Security is starting to use several companies here in the Metro Atlanta area are using drones for patrol. All right? With the CCTV, the drones are doing the patrol. And it's very effective. Very effective.
It's more effective than
Yeah.
might pop out with
They can't replace human security or physical security, but they reduce the amount of physical security that's needed. All right. Access control. Access control is basically when you're working at a gate. All right. Some of your job sites are going to be more in depth. Just not working a gate. You may be working at an airport. Like we're right here at the Atlanta airport right now. All right. And in order for a company to come on board or come into that property, they have to have what we call a pass or a permit. In order to get that permit, that company that they work for or that truck that they're driving has to have so much insurance. So this thing goes deep as far as just you checking in things. Before that truck make that delivery, that company had to apply to the airport to get a permit. Well, that company has to have like maybe $5 million insurance policy. Okay? They have to vet all the drivers. So when they show you that permit to get into this gate, they've been vetted. That's serious access control. Wow. Background check, drug test, everything. Okay? All right? So just remember, access control can go pretty deep with this thing. We're about to wrap it up here. So we're talking about next, we're going to talk about the customer service issues, public relations. Folks, if something happened at one of your job sites, let's say, for example, it's a huge manufacturing company, you're working security there. There's a big strike going on at your location, labor strike. And you got Fox, you got CBS, ABC. Please do not get in front of that news camera and start talking on behalf of your client and your security company. Yep. Let me say it again. Don't you get your 1 minute of fame and lose your job to get and talk to the media. Mm-hmm. You are not representing that company. You're a security with a job to observe and report. All right. So public relations wise, they're gonna have they got high paid people to talk to the cameras. Everybody understand that?
High paid people.
All right. Interpersonal skills, communications. Let me go back to public relations again. Whatever happened in your security company, your security force, let's say you got 10 officers working there, doing all 24-hour shifts, and you have an issue with one of your security officers, don't go to the client with the issue. Let me say it again. Don't go to the client with the issue of a security officer, another security officer. That can be handled in-house through the security company. Y'all agree with that?
Agree.
They got enough issues dealing with their employees. They don't want to hear about the security. That's why they hire you. All right? Yeah. Don't run to that client for nothing unless it's related to your job. All right? But if it's a security issue, you deal with your security supervisor and then you deal with the administrators. But don't run to the client. All right? Enough said with that. Interpersonal communications. All right? Folks, this is one of the last one here. When you're dealing with, how many minutes we got, sir?
24.
Okay, very good. When you're dealing with people, all right, and I'm going to take a mask off just for a second. All right? When I'm dealing with people and I'm trying to gather information, whether they're in the field or whatever, when I'm asking them a question and they do what we call nonverbal cues of deception, it's important to understand some of the cues. Now this is a 40-hour class after 10 back in law enforcement. I'm just going to try to narrow this thing down in the next 10 minutes or so. But there is signs of deception for someone when they're talking to see if they're lying. All right. Normally you want to get 2 or 3 of these cues. Q-U-E-S. Number one, when a person lies, a lot of times, or a person is being deceiving or is showing deception, if I ask them a question and they want to get back away from that answer, it's almost like a fire that's hot. They want to get back almost. Everybody understand what I'm saying? You know, and then they will answer the question. But that made them so uncomfortable, they want to get back from it. That's a cue. That's a cue. Next. So I asked them a question and this person responded. And this person responded to say, yes, I was here at 7 o'clock. What did I just do? Right. What I'm saying stinks. Immediately after that lie. Mom and dad told us not to lie when we was boys and girls, right? So that means we morally know not to lie. But when you lie, it's actually going against your morals. because mom and dad taught not to lie. There's a small little reaction you got to see. You got to observe it. If you don't see it immediately after that lie, you're gonna miss it. Again, the guy asked me, hey man, what time did you get here? Man, I got here around about 7 o'clock. See what I'm saying? My nose started itching. All right, that's cute. That's a cute. This is another one. I'm talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, I asked them, hey, listen, did you take the item? Now watch me very closely. No, I did not take the item. What I just do? My mouth and my lips would start moving. Immediately after that lie. Okay? Now, don't just use one cue. Use 2 or 3 cues and say, man, this man might be deceptive. May not be telling the whole truth. Maybe he's just holding back. He's deceptive for sure. When he's doing about 2 or 3 cues. All right? All right, now, what about this one? All right, you're now at this point, now this person is a suspect. All right, you got him, you caught him at security, you caught him trespassing. I'm sorry, committing a retail theft. All right, and you ask him, you sit him down in your office, hey, sir, ma'am, do you have any more items on you? I don't have any more items. What did I just do? I turn away, but which way? Your left side of your brain is your creative side of your brain. Notice what I just did. I mean, watch it slowly. Sir, ma'am, did you have any more items that you're concealing? No. So I moved to the left. My head went to the left, everything. Most likely, that's a cue for you that he's probably has some more stuff on him. Okay? These are very small, minute cues that if you're trained, you can observe and detect deception from someone. Okay? Recap. You got a person that's trespassing on the property, and you come up to him and you ask him, hey, sir, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm just waiting for my bus. All right? You know, I want to ask him a simple question because I want to see how he is telling the truth, first of all. All right? I want to see how he reacts when he's telling the truth. Hey, man, what's your name? Oh, my name is John. Okay, good. John, all right, John, are you working? No, I'm working, man. No. Okay, cool. All right, now I'm gonna turn the fire up now. Watch I turn the fire up. Hey, you know anything about these burglaries that's happening around here? I don't know anything about these burglaries.
Example.
See that? How many cues I just displayed for you?
3.
I'm deceptive. I just showed some deception. Okay? All right, now you got something. What do you got? That question that you just asked. You know anything about these burglars around here? I will harp on that now. And he's going to get further. Now he's like this. You already know how he is when he's telling the truth. Now he's getting further back. He's been creative with his head. He's moving to the left. Doing it right here after immediately after he's talked. Yeah, that's deception. Okay. Now let me give you some misnomers as far as deception by people not looking you in the eyes. That is not a cue. Although people think it's a cue, it is not a cue. Generationally, some people have been taught not to look people in the eye. You know that? It was back in the old 1700s, where a man is not supposed to look. Yeah, exactly. Back in slavery days, you couldn't look somebody in the eye. It was a sign of disrespect. All right. So that is not a cue. Some people, it's just bad upbringing. Not to look a man or a woman in his face. It's just bad upbringing. All right. So it's just because the man's he's talking and he's looking down, he's answering a question. Don't think he's lying. He's not all the time. Okay. He's just don't know better. To look a man or a woman in his eyes. Okay. All right. So are there any? Yes, sir.
What about continuous squinting of the eyes?
Squinting of the eyes?
Continuous squinting of the eyes.
I would ask a reasonable, simple question where there's no reason for him to lie. First, see if he does that while he's answering the truth. Is this squinting his eyes happening when I'm asking a simple question? That, hey, what color's your shirt? I like that. What color's your shirt, man? Black. So I didn't see you squint your eyes then. But then all of a sudden I say, hey man, did you happen to take that phone? And then all of a sudden your eyes start doing that and you're looking to the left and backing up and everything. That's a sign of deception.
You might have stole this phone.
Okay? Are there any questions? All right, so that covered all of my 509-2 and a brief summary. And we'll continue on the class in a few minutes. Thank you so much.